Right, guys. I just saw an article there on this Novaniti website, um, and it's all about the recovery and resilience plan. This is these buzzwords what they always come up with. These people like the EU, and what it's all about is what the first thing they say is it's about the repairing the damage done by the pandemic, which didn't do that much damage in Bulgaria. I'll tell you that right now. And most things stayed open here. The only things that really closed were places that received money for closing, or the people got paid anyway. In some cases, like government places and that, which they just carry on getting a salary and then complain. Anyway, so it didn't happen a lot here. Most things stayed open. I can't think of anything except really some restaurants and hotels. They closed. Some of them never opened up again. I think they found something better to do. But anyway, so this recovery and resilience plan, if you look at it, basically what I can say is that, like, they tell you to do something like blow up all your coal-powered stations, power stations, which I don't know what that's got to do with recovering from this damage from the pandemic. I would say it'd be improving people's diets and doing some more tests on the resonance microwaves and that, find out what's going on there. I would say that would be better way to go, and do some more tests on these medicines. But they say only a little bit of it's to do with health, and so don't really know the link. Maybe it's just for just for kind of the stigma or whatever. So what you've got to do is, they say, right, we'll give you this money. And go back to the headline. The headline is they're going to lose all this money. Well, they're not, because they haven't got it yet. So they haven't lost it. Right, and to get the money, you've got to start. I'll just stick with the one example. To get the money, you've got to start blowing up all your power stations and whatever else they're going to make you do. And then, once you've reached a milestone, once they're all flattened, then you'll receive all this money. Now, I think that Bulgaria have selectively just not done these, that they've not implemented these a lot of these measures because they don't feel they have to, they don't feel the need, or it's detrimental even to do these things, like closing all the farms and things like that. This is what all this net zero, that's why they've linked it into this recovery. Well, you don't have to recover. If you've already got a coal-fired power station, you don't have to recover by blowing it up. Or resilience. I would say recovery and resilience means keep it open, but try and first of all make the power station cleaner, which you can. You can clean burn almost fully coal and other fuels, And even here on a very small scale, I can burn, my wood burns clean as a whistle. There's no smoke comes out of my chimney because I've got a double extra burn on the fire, and it burns the smoke. It's a secondary burn fire, and it does that by injecting oxygen above the fire when it's going into smoke, and it reignites the smoke. And it's a very, very simple steel box. And also they call these renewables. Well, here's a news flash. Bulgaria's forest in 10 years has increased by 20%. The forest, and I can see it in the back here, because I haven't cut the trees down in the back. It's like a forest, and I left it. I haven't done anything really for about 15 years. Beyond the back wall, which I'm going to swap actually with the neighbour for some land at the side. That's anyway. So recovery and resilience. So they don't give you the money. You've got to do things like start destroying your farms or whatever, or start putting up all these windmills that we don't have any wind, or whatever it is, and then they give you some money once you've reached a milestone, and then you get the money. So if someone said to me, right, I've got this plan, and I say, oh great, what is it? And they say, well, this is about recovering from the pandemic, and I say, well, I didn't suffer, I did quite well, and this is in reality. I did quite well during the pandemic, and I also made my final push to living in Bulgaria permanently. So a lot of good things came out of that for me, and I didn't take part anyway in any way, shape or form, except get out of Dodge. I got out of the UK and never been back since. So I didn't have to recover or be resilient. I'm already resilient. So let's say they said, right, we're going to get rid of your wood burner. If you get rid of your wood burner, spend a load of money on like a heat pump, a ground source heat pump, which don't work. After you've done that, report back, and then we'll give you some money. And I would say, no, I'm okay. I'm okay with the wood burner situation, and I think it's sustainable. And it'll cost a lot of money to do this heat pump, and it won't heat the house. It wouldn't heat this house, guaranteed. So that's what I think Bulgaria have done on certain things. They've said, right, took the view. They're like, hey, that we're being led up the garden path here. We don't want to do that. Blowing up coal power stations is not a good idea at present, and especially at present, because the gas is not guaranteed, even now from Turkey, because Turkey's collapsing. So it's nothing is guaranteed. I'll tell you what is guaranteed: wood for the fire in Bulgaria. There's enough wood here, and they have to control it. You've got to control forests. Once you've established them, you've got to control them. Otherwise, they just go to a jungle. And I've got a perfect example behind my house. And I've got to do some thinning out there. And they've got to control them, and they've got to make fire breaks. And they've got to keep clear the where the power cables and also pipelines cross the mountains, and it's like a patchwork of, and they've got and that gives you a fire break as well at the same time. So if you manage it well, and make your routes of your of your power cables and pipelines, etc., wisely, then you've got the lot, and you've got to clear the roads as well, because the trees just grow. They just grow into the roads, and when you get snow, they all just cave into the road in the winter. So you got to keep them there under control as well, which so that's what the resilience and recovery. Now, how are you recovering? If I get rid of my wood burner, what's that got to do with me recovering from this so-called pandemic that they had? What's that got to do with anything? Now, if you say something about health, which they're not, like you've got to change your diet and eat better, and we're going to do all that, and not have so many processed foods and carbs and things like that. Which that's not what they talk about anymore. No one talks about it, and that is where you should be talking about. Now, okay, electric vehicles, that might be in this thing, but it probably is about. But the nation here has already made up their mind. They're not going that way. The nation, people, they're not buying. I think first of all, they can't afford them, and secondly, they can see that it's not going to work now. But they have done a more sensible thing, and that's increased the hybrid cars, which I think is a better idea, actually. And especially, round town. The way I could see the electric stuff, and I'm not against the electric. I like cordless power tools with batteries. I like them better than combustion engines on streamers and things like that. So there's a place there. Bicycles, fantastic. Mobility scooters and all, they're all electric. Now, the reason why they work is they're not going far. You're not trying to treat things as, you're not trying to replace what you're doing with the combustion engine with the electric, which isn't going to happen. You can't do all this travelling around the country and commuting, especially in the UK, and that. Commuting's out of control, if you ask me. Anyway, you can't do that by having charging stations away from your home, and even it won't work unless you can run a cable down to your parking place in a tower block. That would be an option, or have a communal one where you can identify who's paying what. Now, so if I wanted to go electric here, it would suit me, but I can't get my head around the costs of insurance, resale value. I couldn't afford one. Well, I wouldn't buy one. I don't buy new cars anyway. I might get a second hand. It's something like a little electric, something or other, and to get me to town and back, because I can charge it here, and I'm based here. I'm not like commuting all over the country, So that would, for me, that's viable. Possibly, if the rest of it works, which it doesn't, because they're too expensive, and I don't buy new cars anyway. The most I spend on cars is about the very most would be about £4 grand. That'd be the most that I've probably ever spend, unless I've got like a bit of a booster in my in my assets, and I might splash out a little bit when if I ever see this pension, which is another touch and go, So the resilience and recovery is just garbage. Like on the platform it's built, like you're recovering from the pandemic and the effects of the pandemic. Well, most of the businesses that were destroyed by that have gone, so they're not recovering. And they won't recover by blowing up power stations and things like that. And so, and they make you think that you're getting all this money. Well, I've got to get rid of me. I'd have to take me wood bearing, going to the scrapyard, and scrap it, and put this put like a heat pump in, which won't work, and then say to them, right, I've done it, and they say, right, here's all the money, and like I've got a house that I can't heat, and that's what they're saying half the time. Oh, we'll get rid of all the cows and the meat, and then you can eat carbs. Give us a call when you've killed all your cows and the bees and everything, and the birds, all the chickens, and we'll kill all them. Although like you don't get the flu off the eggs, or probably. And the testing these chickens, just an aside here, with a bogus test, which has always been bogus if you look into it. And the guy who told you that was the guy who invented it, Carey Mullis, and he said it straight away before it all came along, and then he mysteriously died in just before it all happened. Carey Mullis, and he looked very healthy, and he was going against these tests and that, because they used them previously for other things which we won't go into right now. But so all these things, so I think Bulgaria have been quite sensible here and said, right, talk amongst themselves and said, right, we're all right, we're not going to get this money, but it's worth not getting. It's worth not chasing. We haven't got it, so we'll do without it. We don't need it, and especially at the expense of what they're asking us to do. So that's what I think is happening at the moment. So they're going to drop eight things from. They haven't said what they are yet. Trying to find out right now at this moment what they are, and I bet they'll have nothing to do with health and how to stop pandemics or anything like that, which is another highly controversial, debatable subject. But and this isn't the place to discuss it really, or even entertain it anymore. I wouldn't entertain it. But anyway, so that's what I think of the recovery and resilience money. It's like a bit of a stick and a bit of a donkey with a carrot combined. Okay, cheers.